Okay, everybody, UCAP season is upon us. Let's talk a little bit about it. I wanted to jump in. So, UCAP stands for Utah Coalition Against Pornography. And every year they have a conference. Actually, they have two a year, but every year they have one near Salt Lake somewhere. And it is a conference for families who want to arm their children against the dangers of pornography. And if you don't live in the United States, or if you don't live in Utah, they actually live stream the lessons out for free. You can just register for the classes and you can watch all of the amazing presentations that they have and learn from the keynote speakers. And it's just such a wonderful resource for families. But if you do live in Utah or want to fly into Utah to participate, they have tickets where you can attend. They're very affordable and wonderful. So I am going to link the website to UCAP in the description box below, where you can go and get some more information about watching the conference and listening to the speakers. You can pick, there are so many different speakers that speak on so many different topics. It just runs the gamut. So, yeah, please check that out. I wanted to share something that they sent out in preparation for the conference. Oh, and I guess I should say this year it is on March 14th from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And the keynote speakers are President Emily Bell Freeman. She's our General Young Women's President for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And then also Curtis Morley. The keynote speakers are awesome and the breakout sessions are awesome. So if you can go, the tickets are $15 to attend in person, and it's free if you register to watch the things online. But in conjunction with their upcoming conference, they sent out this wonderful resource from a company called Defend Young Minds, where they send out a report on where children are being exposed to pornography. And I'm going to also link that in the description box because it is so full of really good data, really good trend information, a really good breakdown on the detailed ways that pornography is coming for our kids. And also they have some really great resources on helps for families, whether that be like filters or alternatives to maybe what we are currently using that are a better option that help protect our children. Just so much wonderful information. So that is linked in the description box as well. Please review it more thoroughly than I'm going to be able to go over here, but I wanted to share it with you. So it is entitled, How Do Kids Find Porn in 2026? 13 pipelines that are targeting your child you need to know about now. And you can sign up to their newsletter to just kind of be updated on what the trends are and what you need to be aware of. I'm so thankful that there are companies like this and Better Screen Time and more. If you know of more that you really rely on, please share them in the comment section down below. And there may be some resources that resonate with you more than others. And so if everybody can just kind of share what's working for them and what they like, then we can all just have the help that we need to help arm our children and teach them about healthy sexuality and how to avoid the yucky stuff. So let's go over some of the main ways. So number one, the number one place that our children are being exposed to pornography is social media. And they talk about the main ones being YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and X, formerly known as Twitter. So here are some of the statistics under this heading. 59% of minors now say that they were exposed to porn by accident on social media. Now that is up a huge spike from 2023. It used to be 38%. So either we're spending way more time on these platforms than we were before, like our children, or there's been a major spike in that kind of content being pushed at them. 13 is now the average age of first exposure, but there are many reports of exposure happening as young as 11, 8, and 6. And you'll remember when I share some of my from the field stories that have happened to people that I worked with in the past, I feel like a major age range for initial exposure that's completely unwanted and not even based on curiosity is kindergarten, first grade, so 6 and 7. And then it says here, X is the leading source of where kids are finding pornography, 45%, followed by Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can get more detailed information if you click on the link in the description box, and you can look over these numbers that they're giving. Additionally, I think this is important to note. Researchers for Global Witness discovered that TikTok directs children's accounts to pornographic content within a smaller number of clicks. So again, this is our kids not seeking it out. It is the algorithms of these platforms directing them there, which is why I always really stress the importance of, number one, having them not have a device for as long as possible, because if they're busy doing other things, it's not even something that they're going to need to deal with. But number two, not letting them have social media if they do have a device, and being very intentional about what you are letting them do when they're on a device. And making sure you're talking about it all the time. So here are the algorithm pathways that are bringing sexual content to our kids. So suggested videos, that's been the major way that my kids see it when it's an issue for them. If they're watching a YouTube video, they'll come in and be like, and we have it just like playing on our TV. We don't have it on any of their individual devices. But sometimes there will be an ad, or they have like the suggested videos on the side or along the bottom, and they'll be like, Mom, it's showing this and I don't like it. I mean, that happens all the time. And then if they're just scrolling through shorts, reels, or stories, if they get recommendations to follow other platforms or other channels within the platform, posts that are shared to them by their friends. And then they also have accounts that are falsely labeled as 18 plus, but are still visible to minors. And then the little clickbait thumbnails. And that's been a major one for us on one we're going to talk about here in a minute, which is Spotify. So they have in bold, do not overlook YouTube, which is the most used platform among teens. It's a major source of sexualized content. So be aware, and please read through. They have a whole section on what you can do. And yay, they align with what I just said. Delay, delay, delay. Wait till your kids are ready to be handling, and not handling, but to be managing this, and that you've given them the tools that they know what to do when they're faced with it. Don't just have them a device and hope for the best. Oh, that's so unwise. And if you need more motivation, I will also link in the description box the video that I always link of the dad warning his son when he goes to bed about all the things he's not going to be, that he shouldn't be looking at while he's alone in his bedroom with his device. It's just a nice little wake-up call. Okay, number two, porn on Spotify. If you've seen my past video about our issue with Spotify in our own home, and others that I've been hearing about so much lately, it's not just Spotify, but Spotify seems to be the worst one. And holy cow, did that pull the rug out from under me. I was not expecting a music platform, a music streaming service, to just be so full of pornography and pornographic content, and just not just be music. Come on, can you just give me, do any of you have access to if you have a really great music streaming platform that gives us all the music we want without any of the risk, please let me know. Because so far, I have not heard of one. And I would love that for my kids. And again, this is, even if you put the filters, even if you put all the settings so that it's only appropriate for kids, it is still finding it, and or being there. Your kids are still being exposed to it. And this is how on Spotify. They do sexually explicit audio and video podcasts, shorts, playlists, thumbnails, and video links in the comment threads. So in my family's experience, it has been just random suggested things that my kids were not seeking out, and based on their histories had no interest in. Very, very pornographic, explicit content was being suggested to them. And we had all those settings in place. So please be aware. They have a really great link here on 17 fun devices for music, photos, calls, and more that are not cell phones. So be sure and check that out. Okay, number 3, and this one I've talked about here on this channel before, but AI. So you've heard me talk about how I don't want any images of my kids on the internet because people are now taking images of our kids and using AI to turn it into porn. Oh, that just makes me so, so sick. But now Gemini, Siri, ChatGPT, they can all be used to create porn. So our kids can get on and create pornographic content using AI. And even if you have parental controls set in place, your kids can still access this through your lock screen and completely bypass it to get into it. So I don't have any those little smart speaker things in my house for this is one of the major reasons. I have a long list of reasons, but this is just my big glaring one. I don't need my kids asking for inappropriate sexual content when I'm not at home, and they can just ask it to tell them sex stories or get on ChatGPT or some other, Siri or Gemini. They can just get on and ask it to show them images. They can ask it to create stuff, and their little sexual curiosity when they're young and dumb and they're just figuring this out can totally steer them in directions that are going to cause a lot of scarring problems in the future. So be sure and read through this section. There are a lot of helps they have for what parents can do if you need to make some changes to make sure your kids are safe. Okay, this is a good one that I think needs to be on our radar. Number 5, because I kind of lumped 3 and 4 together, is old phones and forgotten devices. And this is something that I had to learn the hard way too, is we just had this old phone. It couldn't hook up to anything. It didn't have a phone number associated with it, but our kids could get on and like play games or whatever if they were bored. Or it's what started out as our kids just taking it to listen to downloaded music when they were mowing lawns, then turned into them using it more and more and more and more in other places until it really became a problem. And so we just had to take that away, and they were not happy about it for about a week or so. And then it just became the new normal that they didn't have it anymore. So be aware of, if you have old devices like iPads, tablets, laptops, anything from back in the day that it's just not on your radar, but your kids find it, they can have access to things that maybe you don't want them to. Okay, this is one that I didn't even know was a thing, and so I'm going to just leave it here with this last one. Please read through the article and read through everything, because depending on your specific family's needs, there are going to be resources that you need to access as you're trying to keep your kids safe. So this last one is porn on hidden browsers. I didn't even know that this was a thing, but this is the example that they gave. When you use like Gmail or whatever email that you use on your phone, and you click a link within the email to open up a website somewhere else, a browser launches to take you to that link that you clicked on. But it's not your default browser that you've set up from your computer with the safety and filters and everything put on it. It's not that. In fact, to get to your default browser, you have to take the extra step in the menu to select open website in browser. Otherwise, you're just using the in-app browser that opens to a completely different browser without those protections on it. So even if you've blocked browsers like Chrome or Safari on your child's phone, they can access the in-app browsers and bypass your parental controls. So you just need to be aware that when you're clicking on a link from inside an email, it's not opening up to your defaulted browser. And hopefully our kids don't really use email that frequently, but it does have a whole section on what you can do to make sure this doesn't become a problem in your home. And it was something that I hadn't thought about before. So be sure and read through the rest. They talk about Roblox and Discord and Snapchat, GroupMe, and WhatsApp. They talk about PlayStation and other gaming consoles, porn on our VRs, um, and a whole bunch of other areas where kids are being exposed to it. So go through, filter for what your family is currently using, and look through the parent helps on how there are settings that you need to put in place, discussions that you need to have with your kids, or just devices that you just straight up need to get rid of, or applications and streaming services you don't need to use anymore if you don't want this to be a risk in your home. But I'm so thankful for this Defend Young Minds website, for creating this list for us, and not only just giving us the information, but also taking it a step further to letting us know what we can do about it. Please sign up for this newsletter so that you can get this updated list every year and just kind of know what's happening. I mean, technology is changing so rapidly and things evolve so quickly that if your kids are using devices, you need to be aware of what's happening with them right now. And again, if it's not something that you want to deal with, then don't have them use them. And it's just one less thing you have to worry about. If you need some support and teaching your kids about healthy sexuality, you can find my book on my website. You can also find a huge list of free resources on the resources page. And if you have questions or concerns and you're not quite sure what to do next about developing a plan for healthy tech usage or teaching your kids about healthy sexuality and you need some guidance, you can go onto the guidance page and set up a guidance session with me. All of those things are linked in the description box, I should say down here. And we'll see you next time. Bye.